And when I've talked about content planning, I talk about planning my content out for 30 days to 90 days and knowing what I'm going to do. Some stuff I do right away with my content, come up with an idea or something comes up, I'll write the content and I'll have it up. And then whatever I may have had planned, I may have pushed back to a different time, or it may no longer be relevant, especially if I'm talking about large language models and I'm talking about Gen AI. Those things change rapidly. Some things I've maybe been planning to talk about that maybe 30 days out may have changed in that time frame. We got to adapt and be ready to move. We talk about ChatGPT here, and then it talks about Google Gemini, best for multimodal campaigns, videos, and visual content. It kind of goes through that. And then it asks me, would you like a visual comparison, e.g. infograph, carousel, to use in a pitch or marketing material? Well, I put in, yes, give me a decision matrix based on what a dental marketing group might use. So I type in, yes, give me a decision matrix based on what a dental marketing group might use. Plump that in. And here's a dental marketing AI decision matrix to help dental marketing groups choose the best large language models based on key cases and information. So here it is, it coughed out dental marketing LLM decision matrix. If you're someone who's been following me for a while, you actually saw a portion of this in some of my prior posts. So this content is a little bit older, but I'm kind of walking you through what I put together a while ago. But as you can tell, graphically, I could just pull this whole thing out and plop it in to something else. And I did. Plopped it into a carousel and put together this information. So it came up with a lot of good information. Now, one of the things I recommend is you never go from what the LLM does and stick it out there. You need to be the human in the loop. You need to review anything a large language model puts together. Just remember, while it's a lot less today than it was even 6 months ago, large language models will lie to you and they will hallucinate. The personal GPTs that I put together help to eliminate that a lot. The other part of it is they've gotten better. You need to be, as the expert in your field, whether it be marketing, finance, operations, you need to be able to recognize when a large language model doesn't have it right, and you need to call it out. Just like you'd call out a team member who isn't doing something right, who's come back to you with information that you know or suspect may not be accurate. And you can always ask any of these large language models, hey, this doesn't seem right. Are you lying to me? And I actually did this with the project about 8 or 9 months ago. And I had my wife working in the office and we both started rolling when the large language model said, yes, Mark, I'm lying. I didn't get it accurate and I hallucinated. Let me go back in and correct what I did. And it did. And I got it right. Just remember, it's not a one and done type of thing. It's just a one and faster type of thing. It gave me a bunch of recommendations, and then it goes, would you like this turned into a branded infographic downloadable chart tailored for your team? I actually didn't want to do that. I actually loaded up a couple other documents and actually loaded this back up, and I dropped it into here. It says, can you create a LinkedIn post based on these two charts? Needs to be a maximum of 2,500 characters. The reason for the maximum of 2,500 characters is that LinkedIn's maximum character length is 3,000. And that's about, give or take, 500 to 600 words. You really don't want to write that long. When you have 500 to 600 words, some people may not want to read that long. That's about a 3 to 5 minute read. Anyhow, if you all read about 60 words a minute, kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking for. I dropped that prompt in and I hit go. And here's a LinkedIn post draft that it created for me. It said, here's your LinkedIn post draft. And this is what it coughed out for me. We took a look at it, went through them. By the way, this was not the final draft. It's just the first step in it. And we took it out. And would you like a version formatted for a carousel post? Yes, let's build this story out now. Awareness, post Gemini, perplexity, kind of put some information in here of what I wanted and what the CTA is. And it pulled it back out. Then I asked it to place the story here in the canvas. If you take a look, This is the canvas right here where we talk about perplexity. We want to talk a little bit about this. It shows you what the canvas looks like when it does a Gemini and perplexity and dental comparison. Then it puts together the placeholders. I basically told them that, hey, this post needs some more color and background. Plus, this is going to be a lead magnet. Do not put this in the chat, put it here. Use the lead magnet information for this document. I was really specific, but edited. I asked it to take out the colons, then it developed some more stuff here for me as we went through. So I had to add some comments, and then I had it put together a carousel deck. I use both AI carousel and I use Canva to develop my carousels that are out there. And we'll talk about that in another video. As you can tell, I put together all the stuff that I need for that carousel. One of the things I then did after I put together the article, I took it over to Claude. And then I asked Claude, what do you think? Now what I've done, I've taken the information from ChatGPT and I stuck it into Claude. And I wanted Claude to say, hey, give me your impressions of how Chat did in developing some of that content. Let me share my screen with you with Claude. I'm going to be upfront with everybody here. I use a lot of tools. And I know there are some people out there who believe in that if you're using generative AI, you're cheating. And in some respects, we had these same conversations when these tools came out called Excel and spell check and Word. And diehard people say, oh, you're cheating. Well, guess what? If you want to call using Excel to calculate data, understand numbers, and put formulas in for things you may have learned in college but forgot a long time ago, and let's get serious, who remembers how to do statistical analysis? Unless you're an engineer. If you're going to do simple adding and multiplying, adding and subtracting and multiplying, you can use your iPhone today. It used to be a calculator. Oh, some people thought using a calculator was cheating too at the time. But I'm just using the tools that we have at our fingertips. Using Gen AI to help you with your business, to help you in marketing is not cheating. It is just being smart and being quicker about it. Here we have is my LinkedIn content creator in a project for Claude. And what you can see here on the right, I have a product knowledge base. I have a bunch of tools or research that I've done that I've added into the project knowledge base. It also has instructions, act as a versatile AI integration agent for startup companies focusing on streamlining creation for marketing content tailored for both traditional and digital strategies. What type of project and who the AI is and what we're trying to do here. Then I talk a lot about some of the projects that we have going on. And then here's a list of the projects that we've done. Where I want to go to is the last project that we did was that we're talking about here is we put in the project and I asked it to do a comparison of the stories. I added in everything here, uploaded a bunch of pictures. Let's build out this post content for LinkedIn. Story needs to scroll. Here's what I do. I want Chat and Claude to battle it out. I actually told Claude, hey, I'm not sure I like what you did, Claude, but here's what Chat created, and what do you think? And then I just copied and pasted what Chat did here, loaded it up, dropped it in. It analyzed it. As you can tell, it took about 9 seconds. It's actually telling me there how long it took to think through the process. Might take, me, an hour, maybe half an hour if we're really good, maybe 15 minutes. I did it in 9 seconds. Tell me if that just didn't pick up your day. You're absolutely right. Claude was very accommodating to me. I said, yeah, Chat did very well. You're absolutely right to prefer ChatGPT's version. It's significantly stronger than what I created. Here's why it works so much better. And then it kind of walks me through that. What it did right. Kind of tells me where it fell short. Kind of walked me through that. Also gave me an idea about how to tweak it, of what Chat did. Then I asked Claude, do you want to try and make yours better? And it went through it. And that took all of 5 seconds to try and make it better. Coughed it up and it puts it into a canvas right here, as you can tell. It took me through an updated version, ChatGPT version, gave me some hashtags, gave me some key improvements it made. And then it kind of walks me through a little bit. Here's what I fixed to make it competitive. Help write the post for me. Then it told me what it did better and how it made it stronger. Not only does it become a better article, but you become a better writer and you become more knowledge-based. understand how the AI is thinking. Do you have a good understanding of its logic, and do you agree with the logic? If you agree with the logic and how it thought and it thinks like you've done an awesome job in setting up the instructions and setting up the other information in your AI model. Talks me through that. I kind of said, yours is off. Why are you focusing on SaaS when chat was a dental specific to my clients? I want this to be 2,500 characters when done. Took a really quick look at it. It talked about SaaS. Probably had something to do with my instructions. I talked about a startup in it. It rewrote it. That took 13 seconds to rewrite because I had to really think about what I said. And if you take a look here, now it eliminated anything to do with SaaS, updated the content, talked about Claude, GPT, Gemini are incredibly powerful tools, why the disconnect. Then it talked about the whole piece here. Then it put through why it's perfect now. Walked it through, and boom, Claude has done its piece for me.